Hi everyone, and welcome to this afternoon's webinar. Lovely to see you all in true Omnitas fashion. We're gonna wait just a few more minutes for the last time strugglers to get on in, and in the meanwhile, you get to hear me shooting the breeze with Shaul and Inbar over here. So, guys, how are you down there?
We're very good, very good. Excited to be here, I'll be frank. I don't know, exciting. I think it's Inbar and myself first joint webinar. We haven't done a webinar before together.
No, it's our first of many, I hope.
I hope as well. What do you guys say on to the early birds in our session here? Fredrik, Inbar, should I take the necklace back in? Should it be?
Yeah.
There we go. You're already making a fool of yourself with the headphones, right? So, yes.
Yeah, you can't have too many like accessories on you, right?
Yes, that's it. Only one flashing light.
Yeah, you got some nice bling to them though.
Yeah, it's in Omnitas and Boost fashion. It's automatic. I'm not doing anything.
So leaves me to think there might be some gaming going on in your household.
Guilty.
Awesome, mine
Guilty.
too.
Yes.
The mouse and all the
yeah. In Bar is throwing me under the bus. Got a nice little mouse thingy here. Yeah. The keyboard.
You like the LEDs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Inbar, you do any gaming?
No, not on my end. I save it for Shaul.
I'm the owner of this.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, guys, it's already 4 minutes past, so I think it's about that time. What do you think?
Let's start.
Whatever you think. Yeah, I'm with you.
So, I'm gonna switch my screen. So, okay, yet again, everyone, a warm welcome here to tonight's webinar, or tonight's, depending on where you are in the world. I see we have people from all over the place. Oh, that might be it, actually.
We
Lost you there for a second.
Yeah, am I back now?
Are back, but screen is not back.
Okay, then we'll do it like that. And now we should have picture. Do we have some picture now?
Yeah.
Got picture.
Awesome. So very much welcome, as I said, to tonight's webinar. It's all about how to make more advanced automations in Monday with Autoboost. So the agenda for tonight is basically we're going to shoot the breeze. We're going to tell you all about who we are and why Autoboost came to be, really, and what it does. Correct, Inbar and Shaul?
Absolutely. Spot on.
So with that, basically, and yes, later on tonight we will round off with the Q&A section. But with that said, everyone who's listening in, please post your questions. So up in the right corner, you have a question section. Please write your questions there. We will get to all of your questions by the end, I promise you. And but keep on writing, and if they fit kind of to where we are, we'll take them right away. Otherwise, we'll wait with them to the Q&A section. So, guys, who are Boost or Boost by Moveo, basically?
We shorten it to Boost. So we are Monday.com partners for about 2 years now. Both channel and tech partners. This means you know the drill about what this means.
You're like us.
you know, more or less. What we do, I think, in terms of what we kind of specialize in is we also do development work around apps and the marketplace. Kind of do some stuff with actual code to kind of enhance Monday's capabilities.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's us. A bit like you, a bit not. That's the gist of it. So Monday.com partner, part of a bigger group that provides kind of services in the product development section, so to say.
Awesome. And on a personal level, Shaul, Inbar, who are you?
Inbar, who are you?
Yeah. Okay. I'm a product manager at Boost. Like managing all the apps section of the company. We are building apps to the marketplace. We are building apps for specific clients that want app at the marketplace, and in addition, like advanced solution for specific customers, like a complex solution that we are building on top of the platform.
So you're basically the one to make sure that everything actually happens then.
Sure.
And take all credit. Yeah. That's how it works. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm turning red because it's absolutely true.
Awesome. With that said, so basically you are one of the Monday Platinum partners, aren't you? You just like we are, and you kind of specialize in apps as well. But then I guess you do what the rest of us Monday partners does as well, right?
Exactly. So reselling of the platform, implementation, consultations, training, professional services, the lot.
Okay. So, but that kind of sort of lead us into Autoboost, which is basically why we are here today. What pains does Autoboost solve, and how did you come into basically, this is an app we should build? Why did it come to be?
So maybe I'll take it from, like, I'll start from your last question, and then I'll kind of talk about the pain points. So us being channel partners of Monday, doing implementation work and consulting on the system, so we work a lot with Monday. We work a lot with the clients that use Monday. And throughout our time working on the system, we kind of started aggregating capabilities that we thought that users can benefit from. So let's say we're building a workflow for a client, and then we're like, okay, but then I wanted for something on that board to trigger something on that board because this would make sense in this use case. And figuring out some stuff that we can't do, that we really feel that we need to do. So we kind of collected this entire thing together and said, this could be handy for not only ourselves, maybe some other people can get value from it. Let's kick off a project of a sort. And our talented Inbar got the ownership of this task. And this is how Autoboost came to be.
So it's kind of the consultants firm kind of main way to ideation. We need this stuff. Wait, other people might need this stuff. Let's see if other people want it.
Exactly.
And
because
so far so good, because I know your app has a fair amount of installs on the Monday Marketplace.
And we take very we're very proud of the fact that we're able to help so many people. We are very in close contact with our clientele, and we love seeing the kind of geeky enthusiasm about solving Monday problems with this, and kind of, oh my god, I really needed this helps me solve so much things that I need. So this is what we kind of aim at, and it's going really nice, and we want to keep doing this and keep expanding what we can do right now.
It's a quite nice feeling, right, when you get that you can empower someone else, right? So that would require code or a slightly more expanded knowledge of IT and development, but then just put it in the hands of the users and say, you go nuts, right? It's a good feeling.
Exactly.
But that basically brings us on to what does this app of yours, Autoboost, solve? What's the kind of main shtick?
So exactly as you said it. So we kind of thought about, okay, so what are the biggest pain points that our client are facing? We face when we do implementation. So the first one would be the lack of the ability to do cross-board automation. I think this will be the biggest one. The way that Monday works is you have a workspace and you have boards within it, and you hold different kind of information in those boards,
Yeah, definitely.
but you do want those boards talking to each other. And I think that Monday did a very, very good job in connecting them on a visual level. So I can use the connect boards column and the mirror column to show information from another board in another board. But this is where it stops, right? I can only show this information.
Yeah.
It's not usable to me. I can't run automations on it. I can't do calculations on it. I can't sometimes do dashboarding around information that came from a different source. But the main thing was the automations. So I want something done on one point, impact triggering an automation on another board. So this is kind of the biggest pain point that we try to solve.
Yeah.
Which brings us to point number 2. So that's unusable types of data. So I don't know how familiar everybody in this webinar are with how Monday works, but let's say we have some values that are only client facing. It means that they don't really exist anywhere else besides what the user can see. And because this is the way that they're built, this means that you can't use them in calculations, in formula results, you can't use those kind of stuff within the native structure of the board. So you can't use formula information to run automations. You can't use values from mirror columns. There's only so little you can do with the summary of stuff from sub items. So you've got loads of types of information that are only visual, but unusable. And we were like, I got this number here. I want to do some stuff with it. I don't just want to see it. I want to do stuff with it, and I can't.
I want to give me a tangible result, right?
Yeah, I want to work with it. I want to use this number. I want to put it somewhere. I want to do some calculations. Right? I don't just want to see it. And this is kind of the second pain point that we're going for.
Yeah, and actually that brings me, like myself, I'm working with the Monday API all the time. That's kind of one of the main things I do. And of course, yeah, I can't access the formula functionality in Monday, at least not yet. It will come eventually through MondayDB, but so I've always needed to redo the calculations, do them again to just get a result which I can work with. But what you're basically telling me, Autoboost basically solves that for me. I can do it in an easier interface and just do it.
Exactly.
Which is like great.
And then just
in
those formulas, you can also use like the mirror columns, the sub-item summaries, values from the sub-items, like a lot of things that native Monday did not allows you to do. So we also advance the ability of the formula that you can not only use the result, you can just even expand the abilities.
Yeah, so basically what's going on under the hood here is some cheating, right? Because it sounds to me like someone is using the API to pull that data in the back end and kind of delivering it in a nice format to the customer, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's like what we do is, maybe we're geeking out here a bit, but let's go for it. We're running the same calculations on our own on our servers. Yeah. So we take the data, we use our syntax, our developed syntax, to take this information, to mishmash it, and then bring it back to the software into Monday in a numbers column, in a timeline column, in a date column, but not in a formula result column. So you can actually use it.
Yeah.
Which is like the key point here, guys, yes. For everyone who's listening. It's actually actionable data. We can do stuff with it.
And just as a note, we do not save any of those information, so worth mentioning, I think.
Good point.
Yeah. Definitely, and those are kind of the big main points for Autoboost.
Yeah, I'll just quickly go over number 3. I think this will be the last one we'll touch on. So sub items. Sub items is such a great capability within Monday, so much potential, but we feel this is right at the beginning of it and not as like it doesn't yet have the full power that we wanted it to have. So again, Autoboost has some triggers around when sub items are created, do some stuff, use values from those sub items in the item itself, vice versa, use sub item summary to trigger automations, loads of stuff like that. Maybe we'll touch on it in a bit in the demo.
Yeah, I think that, and that's actually a great point you're bringing forth here, because you actually offer completely new triggers which aren't natively available from Monday. For example, when sub item is created, you can, if you played around, guys, with the Monday native automations, yeah, you can trigger something on a item creation, but not on a sub item creation. So this is actually also further enhancing the capabilities in Monday. So really, really awesome. And then we have the complex data management, I guess, as well. So that's kind of the whole shebang, right?
Yeah.
That kind of brings us in with what can you do with Autoboost? What are the use cases for Autoboost?
Yeah, so I think that maybe we'll see a bit more when we kind of go into the demo, but just again, as an attempt to solve all the previous kind of pains that we identified. So we kind of can liberate that client-facing only info. So kind of the most basic action you can do with Autoboost, which holds a lot of power, is take information from mirror columns, formula columns, those types of client-facing only columns, and place it in regular columns. When you achieve this, you can overcome a lot of obstacles on the way. Yeah. So yeah, just as you said before, when you kind of understand this is not actionable data, you want to transform it into actionable data. That's the pillar of the Autoboost app.
Yeah. But I feel one thing I really do love with your app as well is actually that you can have cross-board automations. So actions happening in one board triggering automations in a different board. I think you will get into that also in your demo. Guys, you will love that. Where do we stand? Are we jumping into a demo? Are we going to take a look at Autoboost?
Yeah, let's. I'll share my screen and we'll do it.
Yeah, great. And then me and Shaul and the rest of the viewers will annoy you with questions along the way. So, guys, be ready to put some questions up there.
Okay. So can you see my screen?
We can see both you and your screen.
Awesome. Okay, so just a quick overview of what we see. So we have the client board. Let's imagine that we have two personas. So one is the client manager. So what he's interested in is the more higher level of if the client has active task, if it's like on budget, over budget, etc. And I have the tasks manager. So this is where I actually do my job, manage my tasks, create sub items like dates, timelines, etc., etc. So if I just for the kickoff of this process, I want to create a new task on the tasks board. So I can do it from a form, like a regular Monday form, but I will do it very quickly from my Gmail add-on. So this is a new request from my client Moveo. So I just created the item on this on my inbox on my Gmail, and it will create the item on the Monday on the relevant.
And just to notice what you did there. So guys, what Inbar did there is she snuck another app in.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's kind of the fastest way to show an item being created with all the relevant information.
No, it's great. If you use Gmail, also check out their Gmail app.
Yep.
Yeah, it automatically added the files and the attachments and all the data from the item. So very cool. With another subject, if anyone wants to see it more, feel free to contact me. So we have a new item on this tasks board. Monday automatically connected to my clients using the match automations, and I can use I can see the people mirror column, but unfortunately, as Shaul mentioned before, it's only to be seen and not to be used. So I cannot trigger automations using this people mirror column. I cannot notify the owner. I cannot do anything actually. So what I can do with Autoboost is to copy this people column to a regular people column. I'll show you how to do it very quickly. So this is my Autoboost automation. And what I do is when the link to client, like the connect boards column changes, I can just copy the mirror column. I have all the columns names on this UI and paste it into the regular people column in my board. So this is it. This is all I need to do in order to actively using this people column on my task board. So now I can send automation to clients.
Basically, your app works just like the native automations, just as easy to set up, basically.
Absolutely, you need only to use to set up the recipe once, to click the column name, and that's it. You're all set.
Awesome.
And the way to get to the nice little green screen that Inbal showed is via the app marketplace. You add a new integration, you do Autoboost. Fredrik, I'm guessing you'll be sharing a link at the end of this that takes you directly here. You're seeing our dev environment, but here you can see all the recipes. So yeah, you just feel free to choose the one that you like from here. We'll touch a bit on this throughout the.
Yeah, so you have some kind of automations. The one we used is the most basic one, I guess. It's the when column changes, apply formula and set result to column. So
while being the most basic one, I like it the most. Yeah. And I think because it allows you to choose whatever trigger and whatever thing that you want to happen and place it in any column. So my personal favorite, I think it answers the most use cases.
Amazing. So let's go back to the client's board. So what happens here is when an item opens on the task board, something went here. So the status of the Moveo item changes from quiet to open request. So something happened on this board, like we created an item here, and then using Autoboost, we created an automation on the other board, on the client's board. So this is something we couldn't do without Autoboost. So it's very cool.
That's actually very cool.
Yeah. I like this cross-border automation. I think it enhanced the functionality of like the daily use of the employees and the company and save a lot of time.
Yeah, that and also save me a lot of time because that's something I normally have to do through the API.
Yeah.
Exactly. And going back to our previous point, it's exactly what we wanted to save our clients from doing.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows how to handle the API. Not everybody knows how to use, low code enhancements such as Make or Zapier. So we kind of wanted to give those abilities without having to go to those external tools.
Yeah. So do it Monday style.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So like a small thing that happens on the background is for me to create a Gantt that has a timeline. I wanted to match between the creation date and the due date and automatically set a timeline based on those two. So this is also something I can easily do with Autoboost. So let's move on to more like interesting stuff. So let's say that I'm assigning myself as the owner of this task, and then I want to add a sub item to this task. So what happens automatically is when a sub-item created, the owner of the item is copied to the owner of the sub-item. So he can be notified that a sub-item is created. And of course, when we do a live demo, things happen.
It will take a second.
It will take a second.
It's exactly what we talked about, Fredrik, in the connection between sub-items and items. So a lot of the things that you would normally kind of want to do with this connection are not right now available via Native Monday.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to figure out the way to address those. And we've got a lot of cool connections between what you can do on the item level to the sub-item level. So let's say, for example, in our formula calculations, we can address information from both the sub-item level and the item level, and do many more stuff around this kind of relationship between the two.
So basically, all of a sudden, I can actually use information in my sub-items to do my calculations, fulfill them, and get a result from it.
Exactly.
Yes, we can see here that because I added the number of days that I want to work on the task, so it's a 1 day, and I can see that the due date is December 13th, so it automatically said you must start this task by December 12th. So this is also something we can use, like take a value from the item, take a value from the sub-item, and use both of them in a formula and set the results to a regular date column.
And it also updated the RAG status of it, I saw.
Yeah, of course. So this is another formula that we added. We can see here how we did it. So what I did is to check, like to compare the sub-item date values, and if it previously for today, so it's a red, otherwise it's an amber or green, dependent on the like if it's today or I have a lot of time to start working on this task. So you can see that it's also very easy to set. It's not some like a complex formula, and you can do it like yourself without any extra tool or make or Zapier or anything. And it just announces you where you're standing, like if you can wait or just.
Yeah, and this is really great. And since also Monday more or less have the same syntax to its formulas as Microsoft Excel or Google Spreadsheets, basically, it's kind of fairly intuitive, and it's also easy just to Google an answer, basically, or use AI for that matter.
Very true. I'll just indicate that Inbar is looking at those formulas, and she could, to us, maybe I can guess it looks like very, very easy to do. But I can also understand, like, if some people are looking at this and say, this could be a bit out of what I comfortable doing. So we have in our website specifically designed how to use with all of the formulas you can run in our formula indicator, and you can we have a copy button there, so you can just copy the relevant formula from there and replace it with values of your own from your board, and we explain exactly how to do it.
That's awesome. Great resource.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
we are also available on our support email, so happily helping to build formulas and to provide support on this area.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's see some cool stuff.
More cool stuff. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing that we can build here is that we have the summary of the days taken between like all the items that connected to these items, but it's a mirror column, and we cannot do calculation and compare it to let's say the budgeted days of this client. So if we'll see here, then you can see it's a regular Monday automations, like a native one, and we can also we can only use regular number column, so we cannot approach the mirror column, and we also can only compare to a specific value, so a constant number, and not like a different number to each client. So if I have 2 clients with different budgeted hours, so I cannot use the Monday automations.
So basically, for this use case, if you don't sell very, very specific packages of hours, you're going to have a problem really, really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot use it. Like, it's not usable, actually.
Yeah, and in our use case here, we see budgeted days and we compare it to days taken, but this has endless options to it. So let's say budget. Okay, this client has a budget of 100K US dollars for their project, and in a different board, I have an aggregation of how many dollars have been spent on this project, and I want to make a comparison to see am I or am I not on budget. So I can put a number of US dollars in one column, I can aggregate it from another column, and then this information will be taken to that board where I can hold this comparison via Autoboost and see whether or not I'm still on or off budget. So Inbar will now exactly, I think, show this.
Yeah, so I added some more tasks. I can see that I'm still on budget because the budgeted hours are more larger. But if I'll cross that number and I'd add 10 more days, it's a lot of days for a task, but it's just for the example.
It's a big task.
You had a 91 there.
Yeah, it's a big task. So we'll see in a second that the status will change to over budget. And then you can, because it's an actual status and not like a formula column that you can only see, but you can trigger. So here we have the over budget, and you can notify the client owner, or you can send a message to the client himself. You can do whatever you want because it's an actual status and not a formula column.
Yeah, so it's an actual triggering event happening for us here. So we can go in, we can use either Autoboost functionality or all the native Monday automations and just have a go with this now, right? Whereas otherwise we would be more or less, in this case, not even that, because we can't access the mirror, so about conditional coloring, more or less.
Yeah,
exactly.
Instead just use the conditional coloring. You can actually do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and bear in mind the conditional coloring won't introduce
won't
other automations.
Yeah, just to be seen. Okay, so one last cool feature that we have is the group summary. So another value that Monday let us see, but do not let us use, is the group summary. So in this, like, it's a different use case. Okay, it's not the same one. We have the workload board of October. So I have the group summary, and I have another group for each employee. So if I am adding a new task for my sprint, and I'll change it to, okay, so I am already over budget, so it won't change the status, but let's say each employee has 60 working hours per month, so the extra hours are yes, but let's say Ronnie has a different, a new task that will take only 10 hours, then we'll see that this value will be copied to this column here in a second. And then, I didn't add the automations for Ronnie. So let's just change the number for Shaul. So he has 2 tasks of 10 hours. So this 20 number will be copied here. And then the status will automatically changes. So the status is a native Monday automations, and the working hours is an Autoboost automation. So it's not just replacing the Monday automations, but enhancing them. Like, you can add more functionality on top of the native automations that you already have on your account.
Yeah, I think that's a big strength. So it's not you have either or, you actually have them combined. And I'm guessing the automation used here is basically if a number is greater than.
Yeah. So because it's always 60 for each one of the employees, I can use the native automations, and I don't have to do it with Autoboost.
Yeah, but then again, with Autoboost, you can just as well also basically more or less check from a reference table or a reference column in here, how many do they have, actually do the formula and make the status change as well, if that would suit you, right?
Yeah, and like looking at what we did here, so again, endless options around this. So we know how to take the value in a group summary and place it anywhere you want in a board. We took this to our internal company to use it in our sprints board for something that we needed to do this with. So this week's sprint, right? That's a group for us.
Yeah.
So how many joint hours of developers that we have, and we wanted to use this information. We didn't just want to see it. We wanted to use it. So we have another group that is called the summary group, which we take all of the hours or all of the effort or all the story points, specific my use case, and then we place it in a column in the group summary group that we maintain, which again allows us to do some crazy things around it.
Yeah, imagine you can do calculation on this number, like you can divide it to something, you can multiply it with something, like you can do actual calculation with this number and then present it on the dashboards and exports and all the things that you need to maintain the job.
Exactly, and we can go back to closing off our task in our task board just to show how this entire loop closes.
Yeah, so if you set the status on the sub item to done, then like with native automation, the status of the task will close, and then on the client's board, we'll see in a second that the client status will be back quiet, and then we'll see like the client's owner will see that there is no open task for this client, and it all happens automatically.
And that's so nice. And I that is also coming back to both what I know we at Omnitas preach and what I know you preach is like, get rid of the things that you can automate, right? For two factors, basically. One, of course, yeah, it takes time, but maybe the second reason, even more, it's easy to forget, or it's easy not to follow process, or it's, all of that. People might be creative and do the same task in different ways depending on which side of bed they stepped out on that morning, right? But a computer will always execute in the same manner or way. So it's actually also about data reliability in the end, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, but that was great to see, and it really helps enhancing. And guys, I've put the link down in the chat for you, so everyone can just dive onto the marketplace and just install the app and just play with it. But that kind of gets us into that questions and answers kind of situation. But that also, okay, install an app. So I guess the first question before we get bombarded with it, is there a cost to this app?
I'll take it. So yeah, there is a price to that, of course. There's a lot of work that is being put into this, and we believe and saw throughout our ever expanding group of clients that we are able to provide a lot of value for them and to save them a lot of working hours. So to your question, yes, absolutely, it has a price tag. We need to, the incentive to keep doing what we do.
I guess you eat, for example.
Exactly. We from time to time, we devil with eating every now and then. But so you can go inside and check out the pricing tag. We're very comfortably located on the price tag between our competitors. We feel that we provide great value for the price that we take for this. And what you can also do is you can kind of play with the free version of it. So you get up to a certain amount of operations you can perform on the free version, which we feel is a very good place to kind of check out those automations that you want to build and really see if we're able to help you achieve what you wanted to with your workflow
Yeah, and from my end, I can tell you, because that's what I did. I went in, had a click about with it, and yeah, guys, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg either. So you'll probably end up just buying it because it's actually a great little app there that does a lot of lifting for you in the end. So that's great. Everyone that's watching from home office, wherever you are, please make sure also to post your questions in there. But on one, and just because this is one question I know that we will get. So the data is at some places pulled out of Monday. So how do we do with security? I know you are located in Israel, but where is your server located? Is it in Israel, for example?
So no, our server located in Europe. Regarding the security, like we are on the top standard, like we are not saving any data of the users. It's all just via the Monday API without like placing it on our end. So it's just like a channel between like Monday to Monday.
Yeah.
So
basically in, out, delete, and then we're back again. And
Exactly.
also for all of our European watchers, as you heard, the servers are in Europe, which means GDPR won't be a big problem for you, which is always a question, I know. So that's great. And I think we don't have that many questions right now. So I think that's a great attribution to you, Inbar, for a great demo session in there. Basically covered all the questions straight out of the box.
So I'll just say that if anyone has questions afterward, like when you see the recording or something, feel free to contact us, and we'll be happy to answer on anything.
Yeah, and just to share everyone's contact details here on the end. And now when we are in a few minutes ending this webinar, you will also be pushed straight onto the Monday Marketplace. And I urge you to download the app. There's a free version, as Saul said. So have a play with it, see what you can do, because I can bet you that there are just a few use cases in your Monday account that could have a good use of Autoboost. So with that said, because there's no straggling questions, guys, have a lovely evening, morning, or midday, depending on where you are in the world. So thank you so much, and take the best of care.
Thank you, Fredrik.
We really want to thank you for having us on this webinar, Fredrik. It's been really fun to work at, even before going on the webinar itself. We hold Omnitas, like we see you as one of the most valuable partners we have in the ecosystem. I think you're doing a fabulous job, and I want to thank you for having us today.
It was great to have you guys, and I hope this is not the last one. We also saw that that little Gmail thing going on over there before, so maybe we'll have a chance just to recap on that together as well. Who knows? Huh?
We'll be happy to.
Yeah, I'd love to host you as well. So looking forward to the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank you,
and
Fredrik.
taking the time to be here.
Bye, everyone.
Good night. Have a good one.